The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. Yes, it is. Don't argue with me. I'm not in the mood. Please. It's too hot out for that. How are you? Good to be with you. This is the name of the show that I mentioned when I started talking. I do this every weekday on syndicated radio and basically on this internet thing that they invented a while ago. I'm on over 40 platforms. I have no idea what I just said. Amazon Music, Stitcher, YouTube, MyTube, TheirTube, the Apple things, the Apple Podcasts, the Apple things, Audible, Soundbuck, Soundfice, whatever they're called, Spotify, Notify, Shopify. I'm on all of them. So catch me anywhere, or you can just do ronvandam.com or newenglandbroadcasting.com, and that'll bring you to the sites that host the show. Every single weekday we do another one. We've done over 2,400 episodes. November will be 2,500 episodes. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's it. So thanks for being here. Have a good day. Good night. I wish it were that easy. Once a week I come into this studio and I do the show in front of a camera for no reason whatsoever, because I'm not doing magic tricks or pantomime. So what's the point of this? I don't know, but here I am. I know what the point is. It's nicely air conditioned in the studio, and I do enjoy that. I used to like the summer, and well, not really, I never did, but I used to tolerate it. Now I cannot stand it anymore. We got away from calling it global warming. No, that's what it is. It's not the environmental shifting or anything like that. It's getting screwed up, ladies and gentlemen. Every single year, it's the hottest year on record. Take a hint, that's not going in the right direction. Storms are more intense. People are more intense. This is a difficult time. It's a difficult time. Anyway, what I do on this show is I complain about things, and maybe you have the same things going on in your mind, but you didn't open up your mouth or your head to express them. So that's why I talk about them, and then you may say, Ron, I totally disagree with you. That is not true. Or you could say, my God, he's amazing. He's amazing. Okay. The Barbie movie came out. I don't know when you're watching this, but the Barbie movie recently came out. And I thought that the Barbie movie was about Australians barbecuing in their backyard, but it's not. It's about that freaking little doll that showed up decades and decades ago. You know what? And now there's a controversy about it. Apparently half the people that see the film love it and have a great time, and the other half turn it into some type of a discussion group. Look, first of all, it's a movie about a freaking doll that gets out of doll world and gets into the real world, and the juxtaposition of those two existences is entertaining. That's about it. Now, if you want to peel away layers, let's do it, okay? The old argument to the Barbie doll is that that doll is not the image of the modern day woman. And they referred to the modern day woman back in the 50s and 60s as the modern day woman, because the modern day woman is the modern day woman of whatever time you're talking about. Most women in the United States and around the world don't look like Barbie. Whoa, I thought they did. No, they don't. Do women target themselves to want to look like Barbie someday? Some might, but only when they want modeling or acting careers. Otherwise, no. Let me tell you something about men, of which I happen to be in that category. When it comes to very skinny blonde models like Barbie is apparently portrayed to be, I don't know. Barbie was portrayed to be the common everyday girl. But of course, we all knew, no, it wasn't. Did teenagers want to look like her? Yeah, sure. I think they very quickly realized that that probably wouldn't work. But here's the problem with the Barbie thing. Men, as I refer to as myself as, men would consider to be a real person that looks like Barbie to be an, excuse me, I'm going to go into an area that's going to cause some controversy here. Men would call those people loose. They'd call them very sexually open, very unintelligent, floozy, sex object, good for a bang in the sack. Sorry, I'm sorry. That's what men basically think of people that would look like Barbie. But only for that particular eye candy kind of reason. When a man settles down into life and wants a partner to share life experiences with whom to start a family, with who to spend the rest of their life with in a lifelong relationship, they don't choose the Barbie model. They choose you. And you are very attractive. And you are very intelligent. And blonde women who are not overweight and are Barbie-like can also be quite incredibly successful and intelligent. But that's not the way that we look at it. So what I'm saying is, young girls, if you want to be and look like Barbie, I don't think you do. And women who actually do look like Barbie, I think, understand what I'm talking about. It's very, very difficult to be a very attractive, skinny, blonde person with a pink car. That ain't easy. You are considered to be something in a category very, very quickly that I don't want to talk about. So that ain't easy. It's hard to be taken seriously when you look like Barbie. So I don't think women should want to aspire to the Barbie look, and I'm not sure they ever really did. Because it was a doll. Now, why didn't they have a fatter version of Barbie? Why wasn't that ever a toy? Because a fatter version of Barbie couldn't fit in the pink car. That's the only reason. Okay, fine. You don't want to be a Barbie type. When I think of Barbie, I immediately think of Paris Hilton. This rich bitch kind of attitude, trying to look perfect, perfectly coiffed, walking around with a little white dog in the pocketbook, jewelry up the ass, driving to expensive hotels and pink cars. That to me is indeed Paris Hilton. If you could sit down and talk with Paris Hilton today, and we happen to have her here. Paris, come on in. If we had Paris Hilton sitting in the chair next to me, she would basically say, Ron, this is not an easy life. I had to struggle 50,000 times harder than somebody that doesn't look like me. So it ain't all pretty and wonderful and wonderful stuff. Of course, Paris Hilton, I think she's an intelligent girl. I really don't know. I mean, in the circles of handing down money like Trump's parents to Trump and the Hilton family to Paris, I mean, you don't have to have tons of brains. But that's not the point. That's an individual situation. What I'm saying is, go see the Barbie movie. I haven't seen it yet, not because I don't want to. I think it sounds like fun. I just can't get close to the theater. There's like 50,000 girls dressed in pink bombarding the movie theater. I can't even get in there. And I refuse to go close to a movie theater where all these people are dressed in pink. And look, it's fun. It's fun. It's like a Comic-Con kind of thing. You dress up like it's fun. It's a fun thing. The parents are dressing up in pink as well. I even saw a couple of guys go into the movie theater dressed in pink. I don't want to talk about that part of it, but that's fine. Get into it. Have a good time. It's a good time kind of concept. Let's not start peeling layers off of the movie and making it a whole big conversation. It's just a freaking toy that isn't really that popular anymore. I mean, come on. I mean, that was just for young Caucasian white girls. That was the only association. I mean, other than that, that was enough to make the toy popular. But let's not go further than that, shall we not, please? You don't want to look like Barbie. Believe me, you don't. It's not a good thing. Anyway, just watch it as a good time movie, and everybody will be fine. Everybody will be happy. I'm going to wait until the crowds die down, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. Then I'll go see it. It'll still be in the theaters for a long time. And I'll see it then without all the crap going on around me in the movie theater. All righty. And of course, in the movie, there's a actor that plays the character of Ken. And Ken is befuddled in the movie as well, because Ken's the same deal. He's the same deal as Barbie. They both don't have genitalia, and that's really all they have in common. And they both are struggling with their identities. I can't tell you. All right, that's enough. It is the summer. And when it is the summer, I keep saying to myself, remember the good old days. And then I realized they weren't all that good. A lot of them were. That's an odd phrase, the good old days, isn't it? You have to be over a certain age even to say something like that. A 30-year-old person can't sit there and go, I remember the good old days. No, you weren't in the good old days. You're too young to have good old days. Good old days, got to be 50, 60. Then you can start that kind of rhetoric. But before that, just shut up. My parents in the summer, apparently I was so wonderful as a child that my parents felt they had to get rid of me for 2 months every summer. They would, they were practicing, I guess, during the summer to get me out of the house. I don't know. So they'd ship me away to a summer camp it was about 6-7 weeks long. My parents were practicing to be empty nesters so that when the time came, they could get it down right. So they'd send me to summer camp, and I got to tell you something. I hated summer camp because I was never a fan of people. All these human beings walking the earth, they're called people. They're just like nothing but annoying. They get in your way. Usually they do. They're not accoutrements. They're things that get in the way. So that's the attitude I had as a child as well. Like, get me away from all these people. Just because there's so many people on the planet, do I have to interact with all of them at once? And in camp, you kind of did. And I remember that every once in a while, like at least twice a week in camp, in summer camp, they would have a campfire, an early evening campfire. And I don't know. That was weird. That was just weird to me. There were about 12, maybe 15 boys, all the same age, sitting in a circle around a campfire. And that alone was like an odd thing to me. It's like, why are we doing this? What are we doing? Is it some pagan ritual? Are we trying to bring the gods of nature to the forefront and they shall lead us into eternity? What are we doing here? The camp counselor, who always talked louder than everybody else, would start telling scary stories. And I thought, well, why are you doing this? This is like pathetic enough. Now you're scaring me on top of it. This is starting to get a little bit awkward. And it was a circle of boys, close enough to touch each other by mistake. Half of those kids probably didn't know which direction they wanted to go in. I mean, we didn't talk about it back then, but that could have been the case. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, even at a young age, I figured, no, there should be a mix of girls and boys. Just boys? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why? Is that what life is? Like when I get out of school and I go into real life, there'll be no girls? I think there will, and I think I'm supposed to do something about that. But sitting around the circle with 15 boys around a campfire isn't going to do much for me here. And then the camp counselor would say, now we're going to go out into the woods where there are bugs and things, and we're going to get some twigs. You'll find them lying on the ground, and come on back with your twigs because we're going to be roasting marshmallows. And I knew what was going on. That was just stupid, too. So the 15 boys would go hunting in the woods. It was dark, and we'd pick up twigs that were lying on the ground that probably had animal feces attached to it. I really don't know. I mean, the dirty sticks that are lying on the ground, we'd pick one up, and then the camp counselor would give us marshmallows. And we'd take these marshmallows, which eventually would go in our mouths, and we'd put it on the tip of the dirty stick. 15 boys with sharp-edged twigs shoving sugar at the end of it. I mean, it just made no sense. Then we would take the sticks and we would roast the marshmallows over the campfire and until they turned black, until all the sugar turned to black carbon. And then very quickly we would put that in our mouth, and our it was like eating lava. We knew it was going to burn our mouths, but we weren't old enough to figure that out in real time. And that was our evening. And I thought, I felt like calling my parents and saying, hey, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I disliked summer camp greatly. Some people called it sleepaway camp because we didn't go home. We were away from home for about 6-7 weeks, spending our lives with other boys. It just didn't work for me. When it was time to eat, we would go to what they called the mess hall. That's a great name for the place where you're going to eat food. That's a good place we can eat the nice food. How come I'm going down to the mess hall? What? And it was. And I would sit there at a table with 15 other boys. Again, I don't know what you're grooming me for here. What are you grooming me for? But as bad as that was, in actual school itself, in public school, the scenario was even worse. Even worse. I went to what they called, in New Jersey, we called it junior high school. Wasn't grammar school, wasn't grade school, wasn't high school. It was the school that was in between for no reason. And we called it junior high school. Some people call it middle school around here, I believe. Same thing. And these are kids that are just trying to find their way because they don't know what their way is. You're a little bit too old to be a child, and you're a little bit too young to have any responsibility, so we're going to stick you in the center here. And then even in high school, I had the same problems because they had things called gym classes. And I don't know who gym was. I guess it was short for gymnasium, I suppose. I don't know. So we would go to gym classes, and they were also very oddly, bizarrely run. Now, I haven't been to high school or junior high school or middle school in quite some time now. It's been about 14 hours. So I don't know what it's like now, but when I went to school in New Jersey, and it wasn't a boys' school or anything, it was just a regular public school, in the gym class, one of the major things we did on a regular basis was they taught us wrestling. And I don't know why. I just don't know why. We played basketball and volleyball and dodgeball and stuff, but they put mats down on the gymnasium floor and we would do wrestling. And I hated that. Because the idea was that you'd wrestle another kid to the ground, and to do that, you had to wrap your arms around him, and inevitably, the last move of the pinning of the opponent in wrestling was somehow your head or his head up somebody else's ass. I don't know how we ended up like that, but we inevitably did. And even at that age, I realized this is an activity that is just wrong. It's just, there's no reason for this. Well, when I get to be an adult, if I have a problem with somebody else, I'm supposed to wrestle them to the ground and have somebody stick their heads up the other person's rear end? Come on. I don't think that's what happens. I don't know why we were taught that. Then we were taught rope climbing. They had a rope that was suspended from the high gymnasium ceiling, which is pretty high up. And we had to get up that rope. There was a little piece of tape about 20 feet up, and it had a little colored tape, and you had to touch it before you came back down. I couldn't climb that rope. I kept saying to them, why am I climbing a rope? Don't you have an elevator? Is this what I'm going to have to do when I get older? Climb a rope? I guess if you're going to be a fireman or something, I didn't want to be that. Stupid stuff. But that wasn't even the worst part. After the gym class, there was the boys' locker room. Now, I've never been in a girls' locker room when there were girls in it. But I was in a boys' locker room. And let me tell you something, there's no partitions in that thing at all. It's completely tiled and completely full of nude other boys. Again, why? They had no partitions. Between the urinals, there were no partitions at all. You had to be very careful what you were looking at. And the showers. There were about 8 or 10 shower heads coming out of this big tiled room with walls around you. And we would all shower at the same time with no partitions, totally naked, with soap that fell out of your hands easily. I never bent down to pick up the soap. I just came in with a lot of bars of soap just in case I dropped one. I'm not picking that up. I know about this. Was that an education? Toward what? Toward what? And that was part of my childhood. And that's what I remember during the summer. I know. It's crazy. A lot of people talk about their bucket list. I had a bucket list. I didn't achieve much of anything on it. But I finally reached an age where the bucket list isn't doable anymore. There's nothing I want to do at all. My bucket list is to not have one. Ron, is there anything that you want to achieve? Anything you want to do? No, not anymore. I never wanted to bungee jump. That wasn't on my bucket list ever. I never wanted to jump out of a plane with a parachute, of course, skydiving. I've never wanted to do that. Never wanted to go on one of these high roller. I want to go on that roller coaster someday. That's on my bucket. No. Sorry. Not interested in that. Kind of all I want to do is just sit down in a chair. But I don't have to put that on the list. I do that every day. Yeah, I've reached the point where there's nothing on my bucket list. There's nothing. Ron, would you like to travel the world? No, not anymore. I've been to places. I'm done. It's enough. Thank you. You can bring me a beverage if you'd like. That can be on my bucket list. Other than that, not really. No. I got nothing going on the bucket list. Too old for one. Would you like to meet the Pope someday? No, not really. If I run into him, like in a Barbie movie, maybe I'll say hello. But no, don't really want to go to the Vatican or anything like that. It's probably too crowded, and, you know, with the flight delays and all that kind of stuff, it's just a pain in the butt. So no, not really interested. No, they probably have got a closed circuit Vatican thing going on, so I don't really need to do that. So no, not on the bucket list. You know what's not even on the bucket list? To go to Home Depot and buy a bucket. I don't even need one. I don't even want one. Or Lowe's, sorry. No bucket list for me. I'll talk about one more thing before we leave because we're running out of time. I watch this. There's a furniture store here in the area that's quite popular. It's called Jordan's Furniture. Are you familiar with them? Of course you are. Because of marketing, they've done very, very well. And one of they're really into Red Sox baseball for some reason. I don't know why it's furniture. I don't understand what the baseball has to do with the furniture store, but whatever. But what they do is they say that Jordan's Furniture is the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what that meant. Why would a furniture store be the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox? It makes no sense. So you want me to buy my furniture at your store because the Boston Red Sox took the money from the furniture store to be able to say that? Is that why I'm supposed to buy the furniture? I don't think so. Is the inference that everybody on the Boston Red Sox, all the players, have Jordan's Furniture in their home? If they do, they didn't pay for it. So you're the official. Or where did you get that couch? Got it at Bob's. Got the couch at Bob's. That's not a real couch, my friend. Why not? It's not the official couch of the Boston Red Sox. It's not? Get that out of my home. Get that couch out of my home. It's not official. I only want official Boston Red Sox stuff in my house. If it's not official, certified by a rabbi who works at Jordan's Furniture, unless it's a kosher furniture couch, I don't want it. Unless it's been approved and blessed by the Boston Red Sox. And there are people like that. Don't get yourself wrong or hot or your panties in a bunch. There are people like that. Well, I can't drive the car without a Boston Red Sox license plate. Yeah. Okay, this is the official car of the Boston Reds. No, it's not. Well, the license plate, I got the license plate. It says it's got 2 Red Sox on it. So it is. And when I go out in public, I wear a Boston Red Sox jersey. Why? Because it's the official jersey of the Boston Red Sox, and I'm a player. No, you're not. You watch the games. Okay. But if I ever go to the game and one of the players gets knocked out by the ball and they say, is anybody else in the stands got a uniform on already? I do. Come on down and take third base. It doesn't work like that. I don't think. So thank you, Jordan's Furniture, for being the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. But to be honest with you, I think you wasted your money, unless you got enough people who buy that stuff. Also, if somebody pitches a perfect game, I guess I'm going to get a free end table. Seriously. All right, I'm just about out of time. Again, go to NewEnglandBroadcasting.com or RonVanDam.com or any one of the things and like me and follow me. I mean, not literally. I mean, social media-wise. And I'll be back next week with a brand new show. And until that time arrives, I wish you peace.